Hello and welcome everyone present here today to the wonderful evening for a wonderful race to come. It's UMRL round 8 coming to Valencia. I'm Paul and commentating alongside me it's Larry, the man, the myth, the legend, the goat, and Eloksian as well. Hello, hello.
Hello.
Good evening, everybody, from the
What are your
Valencia
thoughts
street
before the
circuit.
race start?
It's the fifth race start around here, one of the most iconic tracks for this league.
So, Eloksian, what about you? How are you feeling before the start?
Yeah, I've raced in all the feeder series races and it's been total chaos, so I don't expect much more here.
Fair enough, as we are past the first laps of the qualifying session. It's currently Krustenet who is on the provisional pole. It's 32.55, just around 0.15 seconds away from the current world record held by SigmaBob. But will we see an improvement from others? It's Tyne who goes 65, but lacking just a little bit to get in the pole position. As Senna qualifies into third, Rondo's fourth, and SigmaBob, the world record holder, is currently going fifth. As we are going as well, we see some very interesting liveries on the grid. It's actually 5 teams who have the special liveries. Commemorating Laguna who have decided to take the break. It's Williams erasing his former team, where we saw a swap between him and Nikhil. Laguna's now reserve, where Nikhil takes the main spot. There's also a livery commemorating him in one time with, for example, Time we see his livery here, and another one coming from S25M. If I manage to find them, there we go. It's Nitro currently running P9 in the qualifying. There's also HRT commemorating Matt, who is leaving us after this race. Sadly, it's a combination of I think 6 liveries. I think that is, and Minardi who created the special livery, going in for the home race of Juanfi. And that's all. It's going back to qualifying. It's last 30 seconds left. Still crossed it on pole. It's Justin, just 300s away, and SigmaBob going third currently, and Time fourth. Anything else to add? Maybe my co-commentators.
I think
Not
you
really.
did a pretty nice
Good
job,
job.
and it was pretty calm in the timetable over the last few seconds. I'm just watching Rondo, who's going through the chicane. He's also making a return every now and then. He is racing in the league, going through the hairpin and pushing on in the last few seconds of this session. But right now, it looks like Cross and Justin are going to be on the front row again, just like at the Circuit of the Americas. And Rondo doesn't manage to improve, but he sets a 32.70, just like many other drivers already did.
Yeah. Oh dear. There are, I
They're
think,
going
4 people having a 32.70.
Oh,
So
what a
that's gonna
crazy
be
tie as we are going.
that's a crazy
Yeah, the
tiebreaker.
final lap, it's completed. The checker flag is out. Nikhil crossing it first, Juanfi second, and Phoenix goes third as we see the finishing laps coming in. It's another improvement. Ludwig equals time from cross the net, but does not get a pole position. So it does not get the pole position. It belongs to cross the net, who steals the P1.
Front row lockup for Ibernova GP. It's their first season. Let's see if they're going to stick around for the next one. I'm not sure yet if Crust is going to continue racing, but I think his team is definitely still going to exist. Didn't have the time yet to interview him, but it would be very interesting.
I think it would be very interesting if the 2 faces of UML would leave at the end of the season.
Yeah, Laguna is of course out of the championship fight now as well. He was in fourth, and now it's probably just Justin and SigmaBob left because Pero is nowhere to be seen.
Due to having a race ban, which cost him, and LC didn't quite reach the peak as he did at the start of the season, but it's still a very good performance, I'd say.
As we are dropping down from the qualifying, it was a very good lap from Crossnet. It's actual Ibernova lockout, and it's lights out. And away we go for the Valencia, for the Spanish Grand Prix. It's a good start from Crossnet. So is Justin already snitching into the P2. Perodrive coming in. There goes SigmaBob. Ludwig just behind him. There's a bit of lag spice here and there, but we go through. Lost Crossnet already escaping everyone. There's already big commotion. It's full wide into the corner, and Time goes on the outside. He claps the grass, but there is no penalty for TMC. It seems like going down the grid. It's a terrible start for Pichon. Ludwig.
Oh,
What happened for him? He is down. A lot of positions. He is down. He is down to P14 for where he qualified. Senna is also down. That's a terrible start for the second Ibernova driver. Crossset already escaping. Justin trying to catch on. There's Perodrive as well. Nick got up. There's Nikhil. Yeah, Nikhil that is. I think Tyne is there, and Nitro trying to find any space whatsoever. SigmaBob, he had a good start, but he dropped back down to P7. Juan, what a dive! He is in his home race right now in the special livery from his team and trying to catch as many players as he can as he hits the wall with Fede on his side. What a start that is.
Nitro is now going to have a huge target on his back as Pero tries to go around the outside. The Slovenian, who was one of the championship contenders in the first races, championship leader after 4 rounds, and he's now kind of lost ground, but he's up in second place. And let's see if he can actually go forward, because the slipstream is super important around here, and Crossnet is in prime position to extend his lead yet again, and then it's going to look very difficult for the two Etrurias to still catch up in the championship. We also see Nikhil up in 4th place. He took his one and only podium here in the autumn 24 season. And let's see if he can repeat that today with the special livery after Laguno has left. Maybe he is actually going to bring Williams another podium this season.
very interesting to see indeed. We've seen a lot of lag rockets today already, and with the pack so close, it definitely won't be the last one we'll see today, as we see a mess in a hairpin.
Yeah, it's going to be a very interesting, as the track is close to wall, so there's nothing besides a few gravel points at some corners and just a lot of wall to hit there and get lag rocketed into, so maybe there will be some coming back from lag rockets. Meanwhile, Crosstent already has extended his lead for over 2 seconds of Justin, who has Perodrive on his tail. There's also Toaster, who's looking for a podium position that he gets checked by Perodrive, looking down, still trying to catch the slipstream, and he gets the slipstream, he gets the inside line, going side by side with the MP driver, now trying to catch Justin from now, both of them hitting the corner a bit too much, now going side by side into the loop, and Toaster claims the P2 of the Etruria driver. Up into P2 he goes, down the grid. It's also SigmaBob who ends the train down to P6. Now Tyne has been separated next to Nitro. They are in their own group of 2. Behind him it's Fede, who has Juanvi on its tail. There is Senna Ludwig, who tries to recover after terrible incident on lap 1. There's Pigeon, there's Phoenix, who also is down for his team. There's Rondon, Lozi, and the second to last is Pigeon, and there's Matt, who is celebrating his last race. Not really the position he wants to be if he won his last race for the team.
Justin is attempting to move. Perodrive also trying to go through in the chicane. Pero looking to the inside in the hairpin. Justin has reclaimed second. Our Toaster's soft tire is now already starting to break down a little bit. Right now, that is still his advantage, as all the other challengers in that train are on the mediums. Toaster in the Minardi, the last placed team in the standings. Thankfully, they already have more than 22 points, so they're not going to get relegated. But also, Toaster is the best Minardi driver in the standings, only in 17th position. And he's also had a long streak without a podium, as Perodrive and Nikhil hit the barrier on the entry of the chicane. And they also now lose touch to the Etrurias and Toaster ahead of them. And Toaster now really struggling, as Justin also almost escapes a bit.
We see still a lot of close battling right here. We see SigmaBob still following Toaster, who's having a pretty good race. We got Rondo here making another good return, and we see here Ludwig, Senna, Juanvi in a good one. Very close battle between these 3. As Juanvi now on the outside of Rondo. Ooh, gets sent to the wall by Rondo. That's gonna cost him some time, I think.
The track,
And
the group. I'm sorry to interrupt. The track and the
no
groups
problem.
try slowly to separate both Etruria drivers, only having Toaster on their tail right now on the soft tire compound. So he's technically faster, but those softs are slowly but surely going to degrade too much for him to manage. Behind it, Perodrive has lost the slipstream of both Etrurias and the Minardi driver. And then behind him is Nikhil down to P6, but he's chasing now. Pero also trying to get back into the group. Toaster dives into the pit lane, so is Crostonet, who go off the race lead and inheriting for Sigma. He goes another soft tire. Interesting strategy for the Ibernova driver, escaping the pit lane just behind Lozy. Toaster finds himself in front of Matt and tying behind him on the new set of mediums. The only tire currently on different compound than soft and medium, it's Pigeon, who is running on hard tires, trying to chase Phoenix and Senna for P16. Meanwhile, at the top, both Etruria drivers, I don't know if they are trying to cooperate or to fight each other. Justin slipstreaming his teammate currently. They're looking for a 1-2 if they manage to hold it for long enough. Behind them is Perodrive and Nikhil, who finds himself just outside the provisional podium. Fede is there for P5 and Piggy gets P6, and Crossnet finds himself in 7th position behind a gap of 3 seconds from Toaster, who is on a new medium tire compound.
It really is game on for the two Etrurias, but is Justin going to be able to come any closer? And is SigmaBob going to be able to come any closer to Crossnet here? Cross right now, I don't think that he has slipstream, as he's still yet to catch up to Piggy ahead of him in the MP. But yeah, I doubt that there will be any chance for the Etrurias ahead of them. What a shame for Ludwig. Right now he is down in 14th place. It's going to be a little better as more drivers stop, but that could have been another podium for him. Of course, already did that out Malaysia.
Personally, I think the obvious strategy for Etruria they should take is for SigmaBob and Justin to work together and just try and, first of all, get away from Perodrive and secure P2 and 3, and second of all, slipstream each other until they get close to Krasner.
Now Toaster has come out ahead of them. The two Etrurias have to fight down the straight towards the chicane we go. Toaster has pulled off a small undercut, and they're still right together here.
There's still a lot of fight. This is one of the few groups that are fighting currently. Still Toaster leading into the P3 as Perodrive goes into the pit lane changing tires, letting one of the Etruria drivers into the podium position as SigmaBob tries to go side by side with Toaster, but backs down from the corner just at the last second. Justin now sitting on the rear wing of the Minardi driver, trying to spot any mistake, any gap whatsoever to go through, but still just sniffing this rear wing. I hope it does look good from the behind for the Etruria driver, as no dive whatsoever is attempted, as Toaster gives no space if it even was attempted. Nikhil meanwhile leading the very big group behind him, fighting Perodrive for P5, going a bit wider, holding onto the wall. Perodrive just behind him trying to spot any opening for himself. There's Nitro and Tyne have managed to caught on. Nitro looking to get there. Perodrive hitting a wall, and Nikhil still inheriting the position, but still it's MP and Williams side by side. But Nikhil through goes, and Pero makes a mistake. But still just lacking goes Nitro, letting Tyne actually catch on really well as he goes wide on the corner now, and again sniffing the MP Motorsport rear wing, trying to go on the Perodrive. No move, not yet. As Tyne goes side by side, hits the gravel trap, and Perodrive overtook Nikhil in the few corners. Still a bit of...
3 wide into the chicane for second place. Justin backs out of it, goes off the throttle. Toaster is still trying to hang on the medium tires, which definitely are still the faster ones, but the Etrurias on the hard tires have now managed to clear him, and on go the slipstream battles for second place. But there's no way that they're going to catch up to Crust as of right now. And I think that they're just having great fun, but maybe no longer if Toaster loses the slipstream. SigmaBob also going back around the outside of his teammate, but Etruria definitely keeping it friendly, showing why they are very likely to win the team's championship.
maybe Etruria should maybe even prioritize Justin for the P2 and P3 finish due to him being closer to Crossnet in the standings. But as it looks right now, it doesn't really look like Crossnet is gonna back down on them. So, as we see, Senna
Oh,
out the
And it's his
race.
first DNF of the race. Senna is out officially, pushing few drivers up the grid as Matt is now P17 and Pigeon P16 as Toaster tries to go. A tap on down the inside goes SigmaBob, hits the wall, and Toaster emerges victorious of the fight temporarily on the P2, but inviting Justin in, and down to P3 goes Minardi driver, but still attempting his best. Justin makes a mistake enough to fall Toaster to catch Sean, trying to squeeze any possible place, but he backs down. SigmaBob on the inside, and he claims the P3, and that's Toaster down to P4. Perodrive, meanwhile, leading Nitro and Nikhil in their own group of three. Fedez leaving left alone. The Toaster's teammate Juanfi in his home race running P9. Fedez he had a slide in the corner, interesting. Piggy and Ludwig fighting for that top 10. Ludwig trying to recover what's best, and it's another DNF already. Lowe's out, prompting Tyne and Matt up another position.
and the group Nitro, Pero, and Nikhil is catching the fight for the podium at the moment. And if anything happens up front, if they hold up each other, which is not that likely to happen because the Etruria can work together, yeah, they might be in that battle as well, which would be amazing to see because at least the Nikhil pack have had a beautiful scrap in this race already. As Crossnet makes his second pit stop of the race, he comes out just ahead of Juan V. Once again, no slipstream, but it's just a cruise around the streets of Valencia where Crossnet has never won before.
We see,
it might be his next home race win.
We see both Etruria cars taking a more conservative strategy of using mediums and hards, while Crossnet is probably planning in another pit stop as he's stopped onto another set of softs. So he is on a free stop, I'd say.
Even more.
Or
Could you
maybe
could
four
you
stop.
imagine the two Etrurias ending up in the lead of the race at the end on pretty bad tires, but just building a wall against the Spaniard maybe? I mean, Crossnet has a huge advantage at this point, but that would be their only chance.
But Crossnet is now kind of gained on a train of cars, which is pretty much started by both Etruria guys. So
and
as Crossnet makes through traffic, and is actually only like a few seconds behind the Etrurias now. So this can get spicy in a few laps.
Yeah, Etruria does need a bit of luck to keep themselves into the lead and hoping that Crossnet does more pit stop than them. As there's a mistake, another mistake, and onto the hairpin. Now Perodrive manages to slip in behind Justin. He goes a bit in between of the Etruria drivers trying to sneak by. Currently sitting P2. There's Crossnet already caught on to them on the new set of softs, going to fight for the lead as Justin leads currently the race. We are at the halfway of the Grand Prix. Perodrive now makes a move on the straight line using slipstream. He's now first, leading the way. Both Etruria 2 and 3 in Ibernova Crossnet P4. There is Nikhil sitting alone in P5. There is P6 for Piggy, who is still one pit stop behind. There is Toaster in P7. He has been dropped back from any group, just now losing time to the fighting top 4. And it's Nitro. I'm trying to not not forget that. Nitro is P8, Tyne is P9, and Pigeon, his teammate, is running P10. Ludwig's outside of the top 10 once more. Fedez 12, Juanfi is 13, but he has pitted for the new set of mediums. There is Rondo, there is Phoenix, and there is Matt finishing off the grid from everyone that has not DNF'd yet.
And Crossnet has gone into the lead. Justin tried to cut off his racing line as many times as he could over the course of lap 26, but Crossnet has managed to get past the wall of the two Etrurias. Toaster has pitted a few laps before, and he has got no one to get the slipstream from for a few laps, so that might hurt him in the battle for the second place behind Crossnet, of which SigmaBob is currently picking up the slipstream. But yeah, Cross is just one pit stop ahead. We're gonna have to wait and see until the end, but I doubt that there's gonna be much chance for the Etrurias, as I already said. And Perodrive is fighting for net second place too, but now where his mediums gets weaker than the hard tires, he is down to P4 again. And yeah, the two Etrurias have been split up at this point.
There's a formation. I think there was a small mistake about Crossnet, as SigmaBob is now side by side, but he is opted to stay in his slipstream for now, as he is on considerably older tires than Crossnet. His strategy probably will be to stick with him for as long as possible, maybe even with a bit of luck until his next pit stop.
And Perodrive is also now going off the strategy that the two Etrurias have had, of course, because Pero was on the mediums. He's now also opting for softs, similar to Crossnet. It's going to be down to strategy whether or not Pero can challenge the Etrurias.
Well, it's a difference building up. We see Crossnet has left alone as SigmaBob dives into the pit lane. He gets another set of hearts, probably looking to last till the end on them. Toaster sneaks back into the P2. Behind him it's Nitro, who is on the soft tire compound. Seems like the holding off that SigmaBob did not really paid off. He's lost down to P4. His teammate, where is Justin? Justin is down to P9. Oh, that's a very, very big drop for Etruria. Maybe though, as we see more pit stop happening. Maybe they'll catch on kinda to each other. There is going down the grid. We see Nikhil fighting Perodrive for P5. There's Stein, who has Lovic on his tail. The second Ibernova driver trying his best to recover as many places as possible up to P7 as the time dives into the pit lane, letting Justin down up to P9, P8. Phoenix leads a very big train behind him up into fighting for P9. It's Fede, it's Phoenix, it's Piggy, Juanvi, and Rondo, who are also trying to catch the scraps of the as Pigeon and Matt finishing off in P15 and P16. Up the grid we go. It's still Toaster leading the P2 as Crossnet pits for another tires. It's now hard tires, so that's the end of his strategy. A free stop, that is, emerging just behind the Etruria, giving Toaster the lead of the Grand Prix. Behind him it's Nitro, SigmaBob trying to fight Crossnet, who is on a bit fresher hearts than him. Perodrive stuck in P5 with Nikhil, though maybe they're trying to hope for
Mistake
them.
by SigmaBob.
Trying to hope
We
for
see
them
now, Crossnet now side by side with SigmaBob, and SigmaBob has gone wide. He's been pushed a bit wide by Crossnet, but I don't think that was any intention right there from him. Oh dear.
Oh dear God, that's Perodrive.
SigmaBob with a huge.
That's Perodrive becomes victim of SigmaBob as Nikhil catches onto them. That's a big loss for Etruria and a bit of a gain for MP Driver and everyone else who've been stuck in the train. But Toaster still leading the way, just barely holding off the 1 second difference between him and Crossnet if he can hold on to those mediums for long enough. Or maybe he has one more pit stop planned, going on the free stop, just as Crossnet, who has Nitro on his tail. As the S25M driver trying to spot any difference, any gap, or maybe he's just slipstreaming Crossnet for the time being, keeping himself up and gaining a lot of time as he hits the gravel and lost the slipstream. As we speak, the commentator scourge is real, guys. You should be fearing me.
Crossnet is lagging.
Is he?
Yeah, I also just saw that. That was not before.
Lagging.
That was not the barrier. That was on the entry to the hairpin already.
Yeah, he was slowing a lot. But
then I think Nitro hit the barrier. It's still super crazy. We're gonna have to wait until the last few laps until these strategies come together again. It seems like it's getting crazier and crazier, and it is kind of falling apart for Etruria right now as SigmaBob and Perodrive go side by side into that very tight chicane. SigmaBob just running across the runoff a little bit, and Perodrive stays ahead now, trying to cover the inside for the hairpin. Can there be the switchback for SigmaBob? Yes, he does get that, and Perodrive hits the wall in doing so. That's just something that happens in wheel-to-wheel combat. Someone might just get a tiny little push into the walls of Valencia. Toaster is still continuing without slipstream on the old medium tires. I think that he is also going to suffer in the last pit stop. But maybe Perodrive actually having some strategical brilliance right here as he repasses SigmaBob yet again. And what about Nikhil too, who is on a similar strategy to Pero? He has got a bit worse tires, and
Ooh,
once
he
again,
hit
the
the wall.
Italian is fighting.
Nick here hit the wall off the hairpin now, losing a lot of time and diving into the pit lane of the set of softs as crushed on it. Now back into the lead here is SigmaBob and Perodrive fighting. Toaster is on the new set of softs now for the rest of the race for the 9 laps left of the Grand Prix, and he is emerging 5th but has no slipstream to catch on top, so he might lost it now. Or maybe he will catch on to just pure pace. Let's hope he does not make mistakes. And in front of them, they keep fighting. Justin is isolated into P4. SigmaBob and Perodrive trying to bite each other constantly as Perodrive dives into the pit lane of the set of softs. He could hold on to one lap or longer on them, but chooses to pit now as Toaster emerges into the P4. Could this be, if he has enough luck, could this be a podium for the Minardi driver? As Nitro is behind him in P5, a bit of a distance between them, no danger for now for Toaster as Perodrive is P6 on another set of softs trying to catch onto the slipstream of Nitro. Nikhil also on the set of softs, he is 7th. There's Ludwig in P8 on the hard tire, next to him is Stein. P9 is for Phoenix, and finishing off the top 10 is Rondo, and behind is Pigeon, Fede, Juanvi who's trying to catch onto Fede's slipstream. There is Piggy down in P15 and Matt finishing off in P16, getting currently lapped by Crostonet.
The last 10 laps were challenging times for the Italian squad, but now they've re-established second and third. Let's see what Toaster can do without a slipstream. I was kind of impressed actually that he still came out in 5th place then, but yeah, the gap's got a bit bigger at the front still, as neither of the top 5 has anybody to slipstream. The 5th place is a different conversation because Pero is going for it with Nitro at this moment, but Nitro on the older mediums is probably going to lose slipstream to the Slovenian in the next few laps, and I'm not sure if he can come back at Pero just like Senna did last week against Justin.
There's a bit of a fight for the very fourth position of P13 is Juanvi, Fede and Piggy, as Fede goes into the gravel, letting Juanvi and Piggy pass, but gaining a position for themselves on the set of softs. Tyne is chasing Ludwig for any gap whatsoever that the Ibernova driver could present for him. Nikhil is stuck at P7, Nitro is in P6, Perodrive is P5, Toaster actually gaining to Justin, but is it enough for him to catch the slipstream in the last 5 laps of the race to catch Justin and maybe get himself a podium for Minardi? He's so close, so maybe there is hope for Minardi. There is Justin and SigmaBob is behind Croston cruising safely for the finish line with 5 laps to go of the race. Could this be?
Was the risk from Etruria to take
and it's a
the risky strat, and Piggy is out of the race.
A very, very unusual retirement for him. It's only his 3rd in his career. We already saw one at Malaysia, which was, a valid rage quit. A valid rage quit, I would say, and the one for lag at his home race where he was going to win back in season 3, and this is pretty unusual to see.
Sorry to cut you off, but we have a fight for P3 as Toaster goes round the outside. Justin now emerging into the P3 for Minardi. He goes through as he hits the gravel. Justin just gets the rear wing as he tries to dive on the inside line. On the hard tires, Toaster's down to P4 again, trying to chase any space whatsoever from catching Justin. He has the slipstream. Could this be another overtake? Trying to fight on the last 2 laps of the Grand Prix. Toaster hits the gravel. It gives attempt for Perodrive, who gets the Justin backs out from the corner, and he gets Toaster back into the podium. He goes. What a peak last few laps it is, as Justin another attempt, he dives on the inside. Toaster, however, manages to fend off him, but going side by side into the last corner of a circuit, managing Well, maybe not. He is still keeping up with Justin. No, it's Pero who has caught on. Toaster into the gravel, dropping down to 5th as Perodrive manages to sneak into the fight with Justin, going side by side with Etruria. Driver Toaster emerging into the fight. It's 3 wide into the chicane. Toaster emerging first and he gets the dub. Meanwhile, the race leader crossed it. It's also being slowly caught on by SigmaBob, but I feel it's slowly too late as we enter the last lap of the race. Toaster still inching Justin for the podium for Minardi, trying to gain. On the inside he goes, keeping the position. There's Perodrive. Justin still keeping on. Toaster escapes a little bit there, keeping the P3 for himself as Perodrive going into the chicane. He gets the slipstream and he gets ahead. Toaster trying his best to catch on. Justin makes a mistake. He is out of a contention as Toaster tries to go on the outside. No, he does on this side. He hits the wall. It's off for Toaster as the net crosses the line first, winning the Spanish Grand Prix. SigmaBob is second. Perodrive makes it a podium for himself. The MP wins the fight as Toaster with them instead on the last lap. The pressure got on. He gets the 4th. A heartbreak that is. Justin is 5th. And Laguna is Nitro is 6th. Oh my god, that ending was legendary.
I'm super impressed by SigmaBob staying within 1.2 seconds of crossing at the end, where Crash was leading by well over 7 seconds in the middle part of the race. Of course, he wasn't the quickest softs then, but also the work that Perodrive put in to split up the 2 Etrurias in the middle of the race actually paid off for him, because Toaster and Justin had bad tires and had no one to get the slipstream from, and suddenly Perodrive was back on the attack. Toaster had to do a defensive drive, Justin had to do a defensive drive on the old hard, and Pero, putting in the work in the middle of the race, took away the podium from both of them. For me, that's the drive of the day.
Minardi podium would have been the most legendary due to their ominous struggles this season at the start, with pretty much having no money at all, having to get desperate sponsors, and yeah, would have been very legendary to see them on the podium, but alas, P4 it is.
So close yet so far that is, but still a very good position for Toaster, claiming the P4 for himself, going down the grid. It's Justin P5, Nitro P6, the Nikhil who claims the fastest lap alongside the Toaster, finishing P7. Ludwig, after he qualified second, dropped back down to 14th after a lap 1 incident. He's now back into top 8. Tyne is P9, and Phoenix finishing off the top 10 for Williams. Meanwhile, at the bottom 8, we see Ronda, we see Fede, Pijon, Juan Vines home race. Not the result that he wanted to get, surely, but it's still, he finished the race, so congrats to him, and let's hope he did enjoy his home race after all. And it's the last place for Matt, who we say goodbye after this race. P15 he is, but it's still legendary in our hearts. Thank you for the race. And it's DNF for Piggy, it's Losi also DNF, and Senna, who does not finish the race as well.
Yeah, Matt, of course, also one of the legends of the sport. I think he's now got just one more round in the league, or 2 more rounds, because he also raced last week. 2 more rounds than Laguna, so I think he's still the most experienced driver in the league. Let's see if someone's gonna beat his record until he returns as well. Hopefully he's gonna get back to form and still gonna go after that first race win finally, where he already got so close in the first 2 seasons of the league. And also Senna has also said that he might take a break after this round, and he hasn't been practicing for this one too much, which also explains his kind of lack of pace around here today. Let's see what Senna's actually gonna do about that. I think we're gonna see him sooner again than Matt or Laguna actually. But yeah, maybe also goodbye Senna for now.
Well, not really. I think it's sad to see a lot of OG drivers taking breaks. I guess for their own good, because they've definitely been very active ever since the league was created back in 2024. So it really shows their dedication to it, that they've been in it until now, and yeah, still sad to see though.
the league goes around the year and race every single week, and it is a very fast, like the leagues go by very quickly. And I guess if someone just takes a break for one season, it might like seem like a lot in the moment, but if you look at the big picture, actually, I don't know, we might see some of them return rather sooner than later. And it's been very cool to see so many experienced drivers now race over the last few seasons after, I don't know, Piggy and Cato and all these legends from the first few seasons were kind of expected to still fight for it in season 3 and 4, but that never happened really. And so it was just, I don't know, Laguno, Krasnov, Guillermo fighting there. Now really the legends are coming together to fight together with the new guys, Justin and Senna. Yeah, it's kind of sad to see now Laguno gone, but I think the league is still gonna be in a good place.
All Krasnov needs to be crowned champion next weekend at Spa is a podium finish, and that's something that he's achieved at every single round except for Malaysia. SigmaBob, after 1 week off, returns to his usual second place spot in this season, and he's just got 1 point more than Justin, so they've swapped around yet again. Hero with his third place now goes ahead of Laguno. He will of course stay at the 5 rounds that he's already completed. Senna with his second retirement of the season in P6 ahead of Ludwig, who also took the 2 points for pole position. That is a nice maximization of points for Ibernova GP, Fede, Piggy and Matendar, the remaining top 10. And Etruria are also coming closer to being 3-time champions of the world. Williams is definitely not in the fight this season, neither is MP Motorsports, but what a nice comeback from them in the 7th season of this league. And of course the brand new team from Krasnov, Ibernova GP, is still in the fight, but it is a big ask to close that gap in the final 2 rounds.
So yeah, it is it. The race is over. Thank you so much for commentating with me. Thank you, Larry, and thank you, eloksian, for your time. It was absolutely wonderful time to be alongside you. Thank you for every driver that has been here for this race, watching or racing. Congratulations to Krasnov, SigmaBob and Perodrive on the podium, and see you next time at the next round next week. Hopefully I'll be there, and wishing to see you there as well. Welcoming to Belgium, to Circle de Francorchamps. So thank you and see you guys next time. Goodbye.
Goodbye.